The 12 Chairs by Ilf and Petrov, Chapter 35, Et Alia. Morning found the concessionaires in sight of Chebarkari. Ostap was dozing at the rudder while Ippolit Matveyevich sleepily moved the oars through the water. Both were shivering from the chilliness of the night. Pink buds blossomed in the east. Ippolit Matveyevich's pince-nez was all of a glitter. The oval lenses caught the light and alternately reflected one bank and then the other. A signal beacon from the left bank arched in the biconcave glass. The blue domes of Chebarkari sailed past like ships. The garden in the east grew larger and the buds changed into volcanoes, pouring out lava of the best sweet shop colors. Birds on the bank were causing a noisy scene. The gold nosepiece of the pince-nez flashed and dazzled the Grossmeister. The sun rose. Ostap opened his eyes and stretched himself, tilting the boat and cracking his joints.
"Good morning, Pussy,"
he said, suppressing a yawn.
"I've come to bring greetings and to tell you the sun is up and is making something over there glitter with a bright burning light."
"The pier," reported Ippolit Matveyevich. Ostap took out the guidebook and consulted it.
"From all accounts, it's Chebarkari. I see. Let us note the pleasantly situated town of Chebarkari. Do you really think it's pleasantly situated, Pussy?"
"At the present time,
Chebarkari has 7,702 inhabitants. Pussy, let's give up our hunt for the jewels and increase the population to 7,704. What about it?" "It would be very effective. We'll open a Petit Chevaux gaming house, and from the Petit Chevaux we'll have one grand income. Anyway, to continue, founded in 1555, the town has preserved some very interesting churches. Besides the administrative institutions of the Chuvach Republic, Chebarkari also has a workers' school, a party school, a teachers' institute, 2 middle-grade schools, a museum, a scientific society, and a library. On the quayside and in the bazaar, it is possible to see Chuvach and Cheremish nationals distinguishable by their dress."
But before they were able to reach the quay where the Chuvach and Cheremish nationals were to be seen, their attention was caught by an object floating downstream ahead of the boat.
"The chair!" cried Ostap. "Manager, it's our chair!"
The partners rowed over to the chair. It bobbed up and down, turned over, went under, and came up farther away from the boat. Water poured freely into its slashed belly. It was the chair opened aboard the Scriabin, and it was now floating slowly towards the Caspian Sea.
"Hi there, friend,"
called Ostap.
"Long time no see. You know, Vorobianino, that chair reminds me of our life. We're also floating with the tide. People push us under and we come up again, although we aren't too pleased about it. No one likes us except for the Criminal Investigation Department, which doesn't like us either. Nobody has any time for us. If the chess enthusiasts had managed to drown us yesterday, the only thing left of us would have been the coroner's report. Both bodies lay with their feet to the southeast and their heads to the northwest. There were jagged wounds in the bodies, apparently inflicted by a blunt instrument. The enthusiasts would have beaten us with chessboards, I imagine. That's certainly a blunt instrument. The first body belonged to a man of about 55, dressed in a torn silk jacket, old trousers, and old boots. In the jacket pocket was an identification card bearing the name Konrad Karlovich Michelson. That's what they would have written about you, Pussy."
"And what would they have written about you?" asked Ippolit Matveyevich irritably.
They would have written something quite different about me. It would have gone like this. The second corpse belonged to a man of about 27 years of age. He loved and suffered. He loved money and suffered from a lack of it. His head, with its high forehead, fringed with raven black curls, was turned towards the sun. His elegant feet, size 42 boots, were pointing towards the northern lights. The body was dressed in immaculate white clothes, and on the breast was a gold harp encrusted with mother-of-pearl, bearing the words of the song Farewell New Village. The deceased youth engaged in poker work, which was clear from the permit number 86, 1562, issued on 8/23/24 by the Pegasus and Parnassus craftsman Artel, found in the pockets of his tails. And they would have buried me, Pussy, with pomp and circumstance, speeches, a band, and my gravestone would have had the inscription, "Here lies the unknown central heating engineer and conqueror Ostap Suleiman Bertha Maria Bender Bey, whose father, a Turkish citizen, died without leaving his son Ostap Suleiman a cent. The deceased mother was a countess of independent means."
Conversing along these lines, the concessionaires nosed their way to the bank. That evening, having increased their capital by 5 rubles from the sale of the Vasyuki boat, the friends went aboard the diesel ship Uritsky and sailed for Stalingrad, hoping to overtake the slow-moving lottery ship and meet the Columbus Theater troupe in Stalingrad. The Scriabin reached Stalingrad at the beginning of July. The friends met it, hiding behind crates on the quayside. Before the ship was unloaded, a lottery was held aboard and some big prizes were won. They had to wait 4 hours for the chairs. First to come ashore was the theater group and then the lottery employees. employees. Persitsky's shining face stood out among them. As they lay in wait, the concessionaires could hear him shouting, "Yes, I'll come to Moscow immediately. I've already sent a telegram. And do you know which one? Celebrating with you. Let them guess who it's from." Then Persitsky got into a hired car, having first inspected it thoroughly, and drove off, accompanied for some reason by shouts of "Hooray!" As soon as the hydraulic press had been unloaded, the scenic effects were brought ashore. Darkness had already fallen by the time they unloaded the chairs. The troupe piled into 5 two-horse carts and, gaily shouting, went straight to the station. "I don't think they're going to play in Stalingrad," said Ippolit Matveyevich. Ostap was in a quandary.
"We'll have to travel with them," he decided. "But where's the money? Let's go to the station anyway and see what happens."
At the station, it turned out that the theater was going to Padigorsk via Tiveretsky. The concessionaires only had enough money for 1 ticket.
"Do you know how to travel without a ticket?"
Ostap asked Vorobianinov. "I'll try," said Vorobianinov timidly.
"Damn you, better not try. I'll forgive you once more. Let it be, I'll do the bilking."
Ippolit Matveyevich was bought a ticket in an upholstered coach and with it traveled to the station Mineral Waters on the North Caucasus Railway. Keeping out of sight of the troupe alighting at the station, decorated with oleander shrubs in green tubs, the former marshal went to look for Ostap. Long after the theater had left for Padigorsk in new little local line coaches, Ostap was still not to be seen. He finally arrived in the evening and found Vorobianinov completely distraught. "Where were you?" whimpered the marshal. "I was in such a state."
"You were in a state and you had a ticket in your pocket." "And I wasn't, I suppose. Who was kicked off the buffers of the last coach of your train? Who spent 3 hours waiting like an idiot for a goods train with empty mineral water bottles? You're a swine, citizen marshal. Where's the theater?"
"In Padigorsk."
"Let's go. I managed to pick up something on the way. The net income is 3 rubles. It isn't much, of course, but enough for the first purchase of mineral water and railway tickets."
Creaking like a cart, the train left for Padigorsk and 50 minutes later, passing Zemerka and Beshtau, brought the concessionaires to the foot of Mashuk.